Boom shakalaka, today's video, I am joined by semi-pro trader crypto lifer. This guy bought Cardano at 2 cents. Not only that, but he has found an insane Bitcoin fractal that is highly accurate. We're going to talk about all that stuff in today's episode. Make sure you stay tuned for it, and also go check out his channel. I will post a link down in the description. I'll see you guys in the video. Peace.
Shout out to everyone here on the live stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Today I am blessed, absolutely blessed. This man is a busy man. He's a traveler. He is an international man of mystery as far as I'm concerned. And he is here with me today, spending his most valuable asset, his time, at 3 o'clock. Shout out to Crypto Love, man. Thank you so much for coming on to the live stream. It means the world to me that I could have a world-renowned, over 100,000 subs, Crypto Love on the channel. So shout out to Crypto Love. Randall, thank you for coming on into the show.
Boom shakalaka, what's going on, man? It's a pleasure to be here. You call me the international man of mystery. As long as you don't call me the spy who shagged you, I think we're good.
Oh my God. Always a funny day with Randall. So Randall, I just want to know, how did you get into crypto? Like, what was,
oh my God,
what got you into cryptocurrency? Were you an investor beforehand? What were you doing? You know, the last guy I talked to went up to Ecuador into a mountain to get away from the pandemic. And that's where he met a dude who was like, oh, you should learn about Bitcoin. He's like, I went to a tiny village in the middle of nowhere, learned about Bitcoin. So these stories are so interesting.
The guy who taught me about Bitcoin actually lives in Ecuador part-time. So maybe it's the same guy, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So I got into it a number of years ago. So back in 2017, I bought my first crypto. And it was, you know, like prior to that, I used to watch this guy's YouTube channel. His name was Sasha Day Game. He talked about picking up girls. And so I went to one of his events called the I know, go figure. I went to one of his events called the Infinite Man Summit. And at that event, it was in Bulgaria, which is now one of my favorite places in the world. And he said, hey, if you have one Bitcoin, you'll be set for life. And this was like back pre-$2,000 Bitcoin, like back when it was still low down there. And I was like, whew, that's pretty cool, because I mean, I could spend $2,000 and I'll be set for life. All right, let's go for it. So I did that, and I started watching videos, and probably like everybody else does out here, just watching content. I saw it, I liked it. I watched a video by Crypto Daily, and I was like rolling laughing, just like absolutely dying laughing. And I was like, I'm going to give that a try. So I just give it a try. Just every day, just started making a video every day. And that's basically where it came from. I started making videos in August of 2017 and just started doing one a day. And it was good timing because it was, you know, 6 months before the bull run. Yep. And so it's basically like if you start making a channel now, probably around that same timing, like you just get,
you're gonna, it's like if you're selling lemonade on the 101, you know, I mean, and the cars are coming, like it's, if you stake your stake and you position yourself, right? But the thing is to be, not only you made these good videos, but you also were convicted in good projects. Like you seem to have good intuition and good research. Something about you tends to kind of, you're patient, like you're not about the quick win. You're about, you know, like that you're gaining these little bits of knowledge and adding. That's what I got from you immediately, was like, wow, you know, I can learn from this person. Like I learn from you every day. I love, yeah, you may not sit there and do huge, but you know what, you show. I remember 10K, you're like, Bitcoins, look at this cup. I mean, once it breaks this cup, once we break 10, and you have these also, you know, you do like TA for kind of for dummies in a way, but it's like, you know, it lets them know like this is, but like if we break this area, key area to look at. Another thing you were talking about when we break 100 days after an all-time high, you were 100% right. You find these beautiful little gems and you kind of bring them all together. I love it. 5, 6, I love you. I noticed your videos are quicker now too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're a little,
it's yeah, I like to find the simplicity in things. Like TA could be as complex as you want it to be, but I don't have the time or the attention span for all that complexity. So finding the easiest stuff and making it where anybody can understand it. Because like I think that probably if you just use like 3 different tools with TA, you could probably do it. Like if you use trend lines and you use a Fibonacci retracement and you use like moving averages, that's you could probably do all of TA with that. And so yeah, I just enjoy doing that stuff and being able to help people out. Like
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I do a lot of TA. I have like I have like an 8-part checklist, and I have to have all these things done. And this week I was going through and I just drew cup and handles, and like everyone was like, "Well, how do I?" And I said, like stop over complicating this. Like find a fucking cup and find a cup and handle, and put your money in and walk away. Walk away and come back in 3 weeks. What?
Yeah.
What do you say?
I said there are children watching this. What are you doing dropping out?
Yeah. So
isn't it extraordinary how that stuff works? Like it literally blows my mind every time I just use a little Fibonacci retracement tool, and it's like it lines up perfectly. I'm like, how does that happen so perfect?
On Monday I drew like 10 fibs. There was 15 coins hit the 618. Bing 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 bing. You know? And it was just like, oh, textbook. Sell when the price gets away from the 21-day moving average on the 4-hour. It's like, because it snaps back to the 21 every single time. Like, show me a time it didn't, and I'll fall down right now on the floor. It happened. Like, and the thing is, another thing I've been reading is we got to start using what we know and not what we feel. When the price is going up, my emotions, despite all I've been trading 12 years, my brain, oh, it's going to keep going. And then you have to be like, no, like it doesn't keep going. Nothing keeps going. Go look back at a chart and see that it goes up. It retraces. It goes up, you know? Yeah. But in the moment, everyone is FOMOing in there, you know?
Dude, especially in crypto, like we have a super short attention span, and literally anything that's a top gainer one day is going to last 1, maybe 2 days. And that's basically it. And so like I've been telling people recently, I mean, if you're trading, you have a few things. One, if you can get in early on the ride up, sure, buy it, but definitely sell it within a couple days. 2, if it's already way extended on its ride up, probably don't want that one. And otherwise just look for discounts, because there's over 8,000 different altcoins out there, and every day a certain number is going to pump.
Now, here's a question I have for you. Cardano went to 161. I personally didn't run to my hardware wallet where I have it staked, dataless, and send it to an exchange, sell it at 150. You know, the TA was there. It made sense. It was a pump. But despite all my knowledge, some days I'm happy with just buying a little more on a dip and knowing that my bag is set and packed, and it's not at risk. It's not going to an exchange. I'm not moving it around. So like, say, how do we talk about the people who are always like, they always want to, you know, and then I also say, was that a bad move? Like, did you take some profits at 161? I just want to know, you know, what is your assessment of my behavior there on Cardano, you know?
So I think it all depends on an individual strategy. And like a lot of the good traders that I've met, they always say, don't be greedy and don't expect to profit from every win. Like you just can't. You can't take advantage of everything. So it has to go along with your strategy. If your strategy is Cardano is going to be one of the dominant projects in 10 years, why on earth would you sell any of it right now? Like, it just doesn't make sense. But if your strategy is, I have to capitalize on every single opportunity that comes in front of me, then yeah, you need to sell it. So like, it's totally 100% independent of strategy. Like, I have not really been selling anything except for a few positions where I just got out my initial investments back into Bitcoin, because I still think we're still middle to mid end of the bull run. Like, I think we have somewhere between 2 and 6 months left of it, somewhere between 2 and 6 months left. So I don't think it's profitable to cash out huge positions. Maybe for ones that have bounced against Bitcoin to take some Bitcoin back, but because I think that there's a lot less risk in holding Bitcoin than other altcoins.
You showed us the map. I mean, you've always showed. That's one of the first things you showed me too. Don't hodl alts. Like the squiggly lines of all the alts down in this munch, and then the Bitcoin all the way up in the upper right. You know,
it's crazy. It's like math. Like nobody. I mean, math. Math is true, I guess, because it's built on these axioms that we all accept as true, and so like mathematically, no trader's ever consistently beaten just putting money, the returns of an index fund, which gets 12% returns year on year. And it's like, same thing with cryptocurrencies, like nothing beats Bitcoin yet that we know of yet. Once that thing comes out, yeah, I'll definitely put my money there. But until that does, most of it's just going to be in that safest investment. Other things I'll trade to try and accumulate more Bitcoin.
Yeah,
but it's like, that's doing most of the work for me. It's getting 200% per year on average. Like, I'm sticking my money there.
Yeah. Like every dollar I put in always is more than the dollar that I put in every single time. Like I've never put in a dollar and not got back two. It just keeps happening, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, like, so there's two sides of like Bitcoin. Like one, I know it's still, even as many like big names get in it, like Elon Musk and everything, I still look at it as somewhat of a speculative asset. Like, it's still brand new. It's 10 or 11 years old. Still like brand new asset class. So it's still speculative. But on the other hand, the underlying fundamentals of it, like how it actually manages inflation with halvings, I don't think that as human beings, we can even comprehend the implications of that yet. Like, I don't think we understand that Bitcoin is going to keep going up order of magnitude after order of magnitude after order of magnitude. Like, it's probably not going to be for another 10 years until 96+% of all of Bitcoin's mined, and the price is $10 million per Bitcoin or something.
Well, to me, it's obvious that it's going to hit $10 million. Like, to me, it's I'm a math guy my whole life, and I don't question numbers. You know, I researched Nikola Tesla 369. Like, I literally spend days playing with pi theory, and you realize every number you add to pi, and then they always divide it. It equals pi again, and you could go all the way to the end, and you could times any number by 9, and then add the number, right? 9 times 5 is 45. 4 plus 5 is 9, and 36. You could times 8,785 times 9, and when you go back and do the math, it's going to equal 9 every single time. You know, if that doesn't tell people that we're in some type of numerical, I don't know, they say we're in a made up matrix type of thing, you know, and I see it all the time in the patterns in trading. And to me, the US dollar, the main reason I'm in Bitcoin is because I started buying gold and silver. I started listening to Mike Maloney and watching the Hidden Secrets of Money on YouTube. YouTube taught me everything. Like, a lot of people say, oh, this is the dark ages. There's trash. You can go down a rabbit hole now, and there's more non-truth than there is truth. And I say, well, but, you know, I'm a rap artist, and I learned how to mix all my own music with YouTube. I said, I just built a walkway outside. I've never built a walkway in my life. I found out how to get like the stuff. I did the bricks. Like, I built an entire walkway, you know, didn't pay $4,000. YouTube. So if you're a good researcher, you can discern nonsense from fact, and you can, and then there's a way to do it. Like, there's a system to do that. So, and I was like, this is kind of crazy, but 9/11 got me into Bitcoin. It happened. I started researching things that, you know, mainly I just let pass by my mind. And I started being like, then I researched the Federal Reserve. I found out the Ponzi scheme that we live in. And I found out all what they're doing, and the, you know, fractional reserve lending, how the banking system works. And I said, and I was working the night shift. I said, I'm going to work a night shift, take my hard-earned money and watch them steal it behind my back every single day. And that's what they're doing. Like, you don't know it, but that's exactly what's happening. Like, you can lie to yourself all you want. And so I said, how do I save my family? How do I save myself? And I was like, this Bitcoin thing is deflationary. They're going to cut the supply while they continue to force the supply. To me, it was 8-year-old math. We learned this stuff. This is 8-year-old math, people. The dollar's getting printed. They're shrinking the supply of Bitcoin. And people aren't that, you know, complex. India's money is going to go down. Turkish lira, right? Look at Chile and the peso. Argentina. These people can have nowhere to go in 6-7 months from now. They're going to have to buy. They're going to be forced. And then billionaires are greedy people. They do not want to lose their money. I got a friend worth 50 mil. He loses $1 million. He freaks out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and he's going to lose the most. And I keep telling him, like, I was begging him to put 4 or 5 million into Bitcoin at 10,000. I said, this is your time in November, September, October. I said, this is it. And he's like, you're always been. I said, no, I really know the timing here. And when we break 10K this time, I have this. And I think, based on the idea that human beings will rush into these things to save themselves. So the idea is you get in it you get into the lifeboat before it's like getting into the lifeboat on the Titanic, like days before it hit the iceberg, and you're just sitting there waiting, eating an apple. They're coming. So to me, it was about survival. It's not even about a risky trade. So when people say, oh, you're risky with all your money in cryptocurrency, I'm like, I don't think you've done the math. You know?
Yeah, right. I know. It literally is. Like, I look at that all the time. Like, where else could I put money, because you can't hold cash because they just printed $1.9 trillion. That just makes it that much less valuable. You can't put it in a bank account because you're getting no returns on that. Gold and silver really don't have much returns. And you could put it in income producing real estate, but that's, that does pretty well. I would say that's like my next best asset as opposed to Bitcoin, but really there's nothing else out there like it, because you can actually own your own money, and it grows insanely.
Now, when you were doing altcoin deep dives, I think you've changed. Another thing I want to ask you. I bought Token Metrics kind of because of you in a way. I watch you, and I like Ian and Belina, and I don't get a lot out of it for the $30 a month or $40. I pay the small one, and I don't seem to get like. And I think I'm just not using it right. Don't know how to use it, or is that just like do they give not enough to that tier?
So let me tell you how you need to do it. I do it two ways. So I look at the best. So like back in 2017, he used his system, which was just a spreadsheet, to turn $20,000 into over $5 million. And so basically, his spreadsheet, there were like a number of categories that he would look at. Like he would look at the team, he would look at I think the project, the social media. I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, GitHub. You see how many GitHub people. Exactly. You want to see the GitHub activation. See if it's Twitter. Yeah. Just compile all this data.
He used to. It was probably he looked at like 5 to 15 things back then. Now they look at 77 things, and all of them are rated. Because in the options you can look at the ratings, you can look at the indices, and something else. I don't really use the indices that much. I look at the ratings. And then what I do is, first off, you can find like hidden gems by looking at the long-term ratings, because the things for investor yearly are like good projects that are well undervalued. So that's the first place I go to look for gems. And then what I do is I look for things that are in multiple categories. So like if it's on Trader Daily, Trader Weekly, Investor Monthly, I'm like, I should take a look at this one. But then I still don't. It's still not like it's like phase 1 of research for me, because it still doesn't actually tell me which ones to buy. It tells me which ones to actually focus my effort looking at.
Yeah. It's just like it's sifting, and it does the initial sift. It gets the little pieces out, and now you can look at some rocks and see, okay, which one do I really want here?
Yeah. Because you can be totally overwhelmed with the information from it, because it'll just like, there's so many different time frames to look at. There's so many different, you can look at the indices, you can look at the whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I just like using the ratings. And if I was just to do one thing with it, I would just look at the ratings, and I would look at the investor yearly, and I would just look at the top coins that they have there and go through every one of those and find out, based on TA, what's the best buy.
Mm-hmm. Like, what I've been doing too is, I've been using CoinGecko.
I would just say which ones. Oh yeah. Your turn.
No, finish.
I would just look at those ones and see which ones are have some type of release or something coming out that could be really good. Mm-hmm. B, are at pretty much all-time lows or previous like long-term support. That's pretty much what I would look for on them.
What are your thoughts on PancakeSwap and Cake and Bake and Binance Smart Chain? And is that a fleeting run up? You think that bubble has popped? Do you think it will kind of continue downward now, or will it resurge with PancakeSwap V2? And do you think they're actually competing? And is this over?
Yeah. So I think it is. I mean, like any other crypto, it goes in like trends. There was like the Chainlink and the Oracle trend, and then with PancakeSwap there was like the DEXs, and with Binance Smart Chain there was the Ethereum competitors, and it always goes with a trend. Like whatever pump group decides to pump that coin, every other coin that's similar to that starts pumping. So I think in one sense, yes, it's over. In another sense, it's still very important, because DeFi is going to, at least it appears like DeFi is going to be the use case for cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Once we get over this NFT phase.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah. But I mean, because right now there's a lot of money locked up in Bitcoin and it's just sitting there. And like you mentioned earlier, wealthy people don't like their money just to sit there. They like it to do something. So then if they can take it and they can use Ren BTC or synthetics or something like that to start getting returns on their Bitcoin, they're probably going to want to do that. And that allows all these platforms to start getting use. So I think that it could be really interesting. And one thing that I saw that was interesting the other day was DeFi Pulse Index. It's an index fund of DeFi
I go over that every day on my channel. I've been going over that for 2 months now. DeFi Pulse. And even DeFi Perp, you can actually chart DeFi Perp. There's DeFi Pulse, but you can DeFi Perp. It's just a basket of the DeFi. And, that's why I'm able to tell people where a lot of times people don't realize I'm using total and total 2, right? Total is the whole market cap, total 2. I saw the pullback at one point when we first hit 1.7. I said, if I do the measured moves of the triangles, and I say, like, when we hit this level, like, they're going to sell us off. Like, that sell-off that happened, I predicted it. I showed I even I took the fractal from then I'm watching fractals. I cannot believe how Bitcoin repeats itself. And it literally makes a rising wedge, drops out, and does a double bottom. I can show you the rising wedge and the double bottom. Literally, that's all it does, like 1,000 times over. Now, it makes other patterns inside of those and that. But if you said on like the 10, 15 minute, I could just show you rising wedge, falls down, double bottom, comes to the upside, rising wedge, and it repeats itself over. And I sit it sometimes on my channel, I spend 20 minutes and I just blow people's minds with the fractals of Bitcoin. I'm saying, so one thing you also said, I just researched Ren. I was sleeping on Ren. Like, I always liked Ren. I put some money in Ren last October. Let it sit there, Bitcoin. Made 500% or something and then got out. Like, I literally left like $100 in there like one day, like 2 years ago. And then literally like 6 months ago sold it, turned into like $600. This is even before the bull run happened. Like, Ren was just doing its thing. People don't realize these coins, we were trading them last August. We had a mini bull run, not even this August, the one before it. There was a little mini bull run of 2000, what is it? Must have been 19, the summer of 2019. We had Adam went to $5 from $1. Like, things were kind of going crazy. So now I'm seeing these same coins come up in the game. What do I'm wondering why Atom is lagging. Atom and Band, like, to me, they're beautiful projects. Atom connecting multiple blockchains, right? It's like a blockchain hub, meaning it's interoperable and it can connect old chains to big newer chains. And it's really, like, to me, an integral part of the movement. But yet Atom just refuses. It's just lagging in this 18, 20, it's just like, it's, is that a project you like? Is that a degenerator? You've taught me about degenerate. You taught me that. You taught me about oscillators and degenerators.
Literally every project except for Litecoin, Stellar, Dogecoin, Decred, and Binance Smart Chain are degenerators. So there's only 5 that aren't. But
explain that to people if you're willing, because they probably have no idea what you're saying. With that.
All right. So this is based off of like a tweet storm by Willy Woo. But you can also check it out on his website, wooble.org.
Or Crypto Love's amazing videos where he explains it all.
Dude, because I just look for the simplest ways to trade, because otherwise it's so easy to get sidetracked. And so one of the simplest ways is there's 5 altcoins that basically will go back and forth against Bitcoin. So theoretically, you can buy these when they have a cheap Bitcoin comparative and sell them when they have a higher Bitcoin comparative. And you can just do that over and over and over again. So Dogecoin was the last one that peaked. And this was one that I was calling for like a couple months, saying, hey, Dogecoin, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to pop. And I just like doing that because it's not guaranteed, but it's like the closest thing to guaranteed that I know of in terms of what cryptos are going to move. And so like taking a look at the other ones, there's also Stellar, there's Decred, there's Binance Smart Chain. So Dogecoin and Binance Smart Chain are both at the top in terms of Bitcoin comparative right now.
When you say Binance Smart Chain, because to me, I think that's
BNB.
Okay, yeah, the actual BNB coin. Yeah, Binance coin. Yeah. Because I'm like, wait, there's a coin I don't know. Damn it, I'm gonna go jump off a bridge right now.
So anyways, BNB and Dogecoin are both at the top. I'm not saying they can't go up higher, but in terms of Bitcoin comparative, it's just not advantageous to buy.
Yeah, they're in that
right
they're at the top of the trampoline. Like they're gonna come back and bounce. Yeah, It's like
exactly.
You could get more,
and
but it's just you've already kind of pulled in the fish, you know.
Yeah. Like statistically, there's a better chance it'll come down than go up. And Stellar and Decred are right in the middle, so they could go up, they could go down. I don't know, but Litecoin right now is all the way at the bottom, and that one, at least to me, is like one of the most attractive altcoins right now. Now I don't know.
No, it's about to go to 300 easy. I talk to a lot of expert traders. We go over to our analysis, and the deep word on the deep state, you know, on the underground, Litecoin's 300. Like it's already been written. Like Litecoin 300 probably in a week. I'm just saying. Like and I hate to be I don't try to do these moon boy crazy predictions, but certain things. Like certain things
Litecoin, $5,000.
$10 million, Litecoin. With the O face.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Oh man. But yeah, that's another thing too. Like a lot of people like doing crazy things. Whenever there's a bull run and I see Doge like 3-4 cents, when I saw Doge, I just put $1,000 in it, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Listen, I'm not a fan. I'm not reading the tweets. I love it all. Believe me, I love it all. I love it all. I'm cool. I think he's using Doge to pull people into cryptocurrency. I think he's doing the simple thing to do the more complex thing. He's mind effing people, and that's what I think he's doing. He doesn't want you to really buy Doge. He wants you to buy Theta. He wants you to deep dive. I think he wants you to get in.
And he's got Mark Cuban on board now, who's been like anti-crypto for years. Now all of a sudden, Mark Cuban
caking Doge at the Dallas Mavericks. I told two people that they didn't believe me. I'm like, you can go buy a soda at the Dallas Mavericks. You can go get once we open up bigger, but you can buy the tickets.
Dude, it's about to go really mainstream. Like this is because everybody's heard about Bitcoin, or most people have, but they haven't. It's been too hard. It's been too complicated. Like it's about to go really, really mainstream because we have everything going on with Dogecoin. We have FTX token, which is about to buy the name rights to Miami Stadium. So,
I just bought in at 30. I bought in late, but I made a big position in it. I made 5 big positions recently with Bitcoin specifically. I bought it with Bitcoin. Man, I don't know if that's the best idea, but I had Bitcoin lying around, and I was out of capital, and I was like, damn, but there's more that I want. Like I got my initials, like I got the SHR, I got the band, I got the atom, I got the foundational coins, I got the Cardano, like I got the bags. I know I got the right bags, but now I don't have any Terra Virtual Collect, and to me, I'm like, I think I need a little Terra, TVK. I'm pretty sure it's gonna moon to $5-10, and then I'll get out. I'm not saying it's gonna be the greatest thing ever, but if you don't have an NFT play in your back pocket, like you're sleeping, at this point. So I look at it like a car engine. I do a lot of tutoring, and I say, hey, listen, crypto's a car engine. We got the V8 block, we got the radiator, we got the carburetor, we got the fuel injection. All this stuff needs to happen. Not any coin can do one thing. We need an infrastructure, and we need it to build. And all these things have a place. And I said, and you need to research this engine and try to wrap your head around it. And it takes people a while. Like me and you, we got it, but it took us we don't even realize how much our subconscious has built this space in our mental framework. But we can see what's going down. And it's like, okay, I need NFTs. And then I get the intuition antsiness that says, you want to make that money, you should be in da-da-da-da-da. Now you need to go spend 5 hours tonight, and you need to do that research. And then your wife has to yell at you because you didn't help her with the baby, and you were looking at coins all night. But that's the point, to be a coin crypto lifer. You know what I'm saying? To go all the way. So,
well, it really is. Like there was this book a long time ago called Your Money or Your Life. And really, money is synonymous with life. We spend our life energy accumulating money, which can then help us have a better quality of life. So like all this time that we invest in cryptocurrencies and looking at them and trading them and everything, we're literally trying to accumulate a more and better life. So the time may not seem well spent from time to time, but it really is, because it's whether we realize it or not, it's actually benefiting ourselves, but it's also benefiting humanity, because while some corrupt people may win in cryptocurrency, it's really more about humanity winning from using it. It's actually giving the money that's been used for oppression of humanity forever back to people.
Well, when you bring that up, it reminds me of like, and I don't want to get too hairy because I feel like I always have to dance around these subjects. But to me, it's the idea that even our own like government, like as the SEC says, they're looking out for us, right? But were you looking out for us for the last 15 years when the HBC bank was laundering money day in and day out, and you kept slapping them with $1 billion fine? Like, if you just Google HSBC laundering, you're going to see articles on Google for 25 pages all the way back to like 1998. So who have you been protecting? Like, why do you keep claiming you're like, we know the blockchain protects us. Let the blockchain create the laws. Stop using your laws to steal our rights. Like, and I feel like there's going to be a point where it's either let the technology win. And I said to my wife this morning, it was kind of the same system when, I'm going to make something really simple to kind of explain what I'm saying. But it was when the, horse and buggy came out, and then they had the car. The guys who were selling, the reins, the leather, they were like, oh, that car's going to run people over. It kills babies. Like they did everything they could to fight the technology so they could hold a piece of what they had. And eventually the technology won. It's saying, listen, for the rest of humanity, you need to let go and you need to stop. And there's too many mongerers out there, I believe, who are in the financial system, who make so much money off of all these derivatives and quadrillions, and they're so deep in it, and they see how crypto is going to circumvent the system. They're going to lose some power, and they don't want, and they have enough hands with their lobbyists and all the money they've spent in our government. So it's like, who are really fighting? Who is really here for us? And that's why I believe in Charles Hoskinson's, because like when he speaks on this larger world idea of freeing humans from being pushed down by people who have more than us. Bitcoin could help countries, because they're saying rich people come into an emerging country and the resources go right to the rich people immediately. They don't even they don't even allow the people on the low to get that education, to learn, to ever move up into that class. They keep them where they want to keep them. And Bitcoin could let them not have to use the bank to create their own wealth, not have to go into that system to then rise themselves above. I mean, $5.6 quillion of illiquid assets out of Africa, right? That's Cardano's deal right now. I mean, to not have a bag at Cardano, I think is to not believe in the world, to not believe in the progression of humanity. Like, to me, buying Cardano is similar to believing that the human race is going to do something great in the next, 10, 20, 50 years. So,
And dude, it always goes to the better technology, the easier thing to use. And when you look at it, that's Bitcoin, that's cryptocurrencies. Because I remember like 2-3 years ago, I had to wire somebody money from the United States to Germany. Not only did it cost $200 for just to initiate the wire, but they also wanted like 8% of the money that I was sending over there. So it ended up being, to spend $2,000, it ended up costing me like almost $500 to send it. And it was like such a hassle to do. And it took days to get there. And I was just like, this is such an old, broken system, when I could have just sent the person Bitcoin, it would have been there immediately.
Now, what do you do with the idea, like, as the space grows, right? Like, where do you see, because I mean, we all want to be these, everyone's goal is to make these millions, but we almost don't even know. Okay, so you made the million. Like, what is your goal? Let's say end of this bull run, you got 10, 20. I think you'll have $20 million. I shouldn't, and it's not even about that money, but I think you'll be in a good place, Yeah. You taught me, and I know where I'm at. So if you taught me kind of in a way, like, I can only assume, and what is your goals? Like, where do you plan on taking this? Do you want to make a coin? Are you making your own coin? Is something coming up? Do you have projects in the works? Where do you would like to be in 5 years is really my question,
Yeah. So I think it's really important to model other people who you find successful. And so, fortunately, because of the channel, I've got to meet numerous billionaires, and like, it's crazy because they work harder than anybody else. Like, literally anybody who has a 9-to-5 job or a hourly paid job, you don't work nearly as hard as a billionaire. Like, they work nonstop. Sure, they get to work on something they're passionate about, but that's because they built it up. They actually care about it. And so, like, I look at people like Alex Mashinsky from Celsius, or like Naval Ravikant, And they're people who have made tons of money, and now it like really brings them joy to do good. Like almost every Alex Mashinsky, the founder of Celsius. He's a triple unicorn, just like Elon Musk. He started $3 billion companies, which is like extremely rare. There's like maybe 6 or 12 people in the world who have done that. And so he just has a good time creating projects that benefit humanity. Like he was responsible for putting Wi-Fi down in the New York City subways. He built Celsius, a project where 80% of any profits go to the users and you earn interest on your crypto. Like everything he builds is for the good of humanity. So I think that's the direction that I'm going. There was a while in my life where I was kind of stuck, like paying off past debts and stuff like that. So that's done. Now I just get to focus on doing things that I love. And one of the things that I love doing is actually computer programming, and so that's where I spend my time now. And I do it. I like to travel the world and go to places where I enjoy and places that treat me the best. So like there was this book that I read a while ago called Nomad Capitalist, and he said, go to places that treat you the best. You want to go where you're treated the best. And it makes sense, because like, why would you stay if you have the opportunity, why would you stay somewhere where you're not treated well? So it kind of comes back to the point you were talking about like governments regulating cryptocurrency. Maybe, but there's like 160 countries. That means there's like 160 governments. So even if one government says absolutely not with cryptocurrency, other ones will say absolutely yes, and then watch where everybody moves.
Well,
like,
that's the thing. Can I get a passport in Malta or something? Like, because I feel like that's going to be, if the U.S. keeps doing what it's doing. Like, I've been having serious questions with my wife and saying, I'm going to have to go get citizenship somewhere else, because this is just it's not working for me. They're not working for me.
There are numerous countries where you can get a second passport. Like you can even buy it down in the Caribbean. They have the easiest.
I heard 180 grand, 170 grand, and a few little things.
Dude,
and
Dominica is 100 grand. That's it, and you get a second passport that's accepted in like 130 plus countries. And so like, yeah, and so like, and you don't need to give up your U.S. passport to own that one, but it's just good to have in your back pocket, because why not?
Yeah.
Or like there are other countries down there where you have to invest a little bit more, but you invested in property or in a business. So like,
it actually might, and you get the money back in 10 years anyway, so it's almost free. It ends up free if you.
Yeah.
See what you just said? I got goosebumps a little bit, because you said I like to hang out. I like to put myself around the people that I like to become, right, or who I find successful. I found you on YouTube 4 years ago. To me, you look like a guy who was speaking his mind. Going after something he was passionate about, and showing a little bit of your personality and being funny. Like a lot of YouTubers hide that because they're afraid they're not going to get, you know what I'm saying? And you let it out. You said, you know what? Every once in a while, I'm gonna be Randall. I'm gonna be the dude. Like, I don't care if how it really affects everything. I'm just gonna do me, And fine. You earn my sub from all those things. But to me, it's like I'm doing what you're saying to do. I'm trying to interview you. I want to have a relationship with you. I want to get to know the people that I find successful, and those are the people that I want in my life. So it's and it's crazy how focused YouTube makes you, because you cannot be successful in YouTube without being focused. You can't. It has to be a video a day. You have to feed the need. You have to keep pushing the channel. It becomes like a part of you at one point, if you really want it, if it's something that you think it's gonna. And then look, I don't think, without the channel, maybe I wouldn't be interviewing you. And now I get to know, and then you shared so much right now, right? Like, for everyone watching this, like, we didn't sit and talk for hours. Like, this is a real interview. We're really getting to know each other too, right here, right now. Like, this is happening in real time. And it's also an inspiration to everybody out there. Start your YouTube channel. If you want to make weaving band, I don't care what you want to do. Start doing it, because there's so much for you once you go your own way. Like, the universe really opens up. And I think that's where your true potential really lies. But it's scary, and a lot of people don't want to get there. Like, how did you break out of it? Can I share a little key tip? You were a veterinarian, or still are, right? If when I went to your LinkedIn, tried to do a little research.
I still have a license to practice veterinary medicine, but I don't anymore, because it was something that I did because other people, I was following like other people's plans for my life, and I got in over my head in student debt, and I just was stuck at doing a job that I hated for 12 years. And so, yeah, it was I used to be that, but not anymore. Like, I mean, like you said, the opportunities that exist on YouTube they just were not possible 20 plus years ago. It just wasn't possible. Like if we wanted to create a video, we would need to have a video recording studio, a video editing studio. We would need to have some distribution service. Like, the opportunities just aren't available. So I just started doing it and ran with it. And like, the other thing is, I think we talked a little bit on patience earlier, and it is something that just takes time. Like, unfortunately, it takes time. You need to have a goal, but it's not going to come to you immediately. And it's probably a good thing that it doesn't come immediately, because you wouldn't be able to handle it. But since for the past 8 years, I've been working, trying, like, is it 8 years? Yeah, 9 years now. I've been, like, doing everything I can as, like, side hustles, like working 40, 60 hours per week, plus nonstop doing stuff on top of that. And it's been, I had like a search engine optimization company. I've tried multiple digital products online. I've done real estate investing and real estate wholesaling. So, like, every opportunity that I've been able to find, I've taken and just ran with it and saw what I could do. And it was just by throwing enough stuff against the wall that eventually YouTube stuck. But even that, it wasn't a breeze, because making a video a day is not easy during a bear market. It's a long bear market. And so
that's what I want to talk about, guys. He was one of the few YouTubers, that's why I respect him, who, despite when Bitcoin went down, he was still there, still giving you ideas, still opportunities, saying maybe this is a good time to buy, like reassuring you that these were the positions in the places you wanted to accumulate. Like, he was kind of like, everyone needs someone there when most people are scared at that time. They need a voice of reason. And he was there 300, 500 days straight, Dude,
and it's crazy because sometimes you're like, maybe I'm crazy. Like, maybe Bitcoin's been sitting below $10,000 for 2.5 years.
I knew you were. I was with you the whole time. I was buying it. Yeah. I bought a whole Bitcoin. I bought a few Bitcoin below $4,000. I said I'll go down with the ship. That's the one thing about me is, once I'm convicted, I'm in there. So I'm not. That's it. And you taught me to do my research, stay true to myself. I think people's personalities come off on YouTube too. You're influencing people in many ways without you even realizing it. It might not just be the coins. It's how you talk. It's how you present yourself. It's how you show up every day. I was a guy a few years ago had problems showing up every day. I'll admit it right now. Like, that was, like, I always wanted to quit my jobs and I did things like you. I did Amazon FBA. I bought drones at a wholesale place in Brooklyn. Bought a space at these street fairs. Bought like 10 spaces for $3,000, $300 a piece, 10 of them. I'd be on 46 and 8th. I'd have all my toys on a thing with a tent. My wife's breastfeeding the baby behind me. I'm flying little mini drones in the air. I got my drone license, became a drone pilot. Like, I was always at work, just like, how do I just, and my job wasn't bad. I worked in TV. I got into TV young, went to film school. My last job, I was working for David Letterman on Netflix, but it was still just not my potential. I was in a room a lot, having to sit in front of a computer. They'd give me the work, I'd get it done. It was assisting editing, mixing, and media management and all this stuff. And I did a little bit of video engineering and all that. And then they'd leave me for 4 hours in a room, and I'd just be like, and I found your channel, and I found crypto, and next thing you know, I'm trading crypto, and that's really them leaving me in a room to do nothing for hours at a time. I started using their money to get a crypto education. I said, I'm going to sit here and do nothing, and I don't want to be here. And I kept watching people on YouTube who looked like they weren't at work, right? People like you who looked like they were going every day, making a video, doing what, and I was like, wow, like, this is who I want to be. This is where I want to go, and it's discouraging. I'll be honest, just for anyone here, just a crazy story. My YouTube channel, it started, did great. I got like 500 subs, started to move. In December, they hit me with the warning. Your content is spam, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they don't explain what I did or where my live streams are 2 hours long. I said, where in the 2 hours? What did I do? Nothing. Then I get a strike. Now I can't post for a week. And they say, don't go to your other channel. I still went to my other channel. and I did my live stream anyway. I said, because thank God I had a backup channel. Next thing I know, I get an email saying, you're going to be terminated because of all this. So then I had to go to the community, and I'm going to make a video how I fought YouTube and won. Beat the strikes. I think this video, and I'm going to go through all the things I did. And I said, I went off at the community, or you can go to the community and say, hey, what are you doing to me? What are you doing on my channel? And I screamed and yelled, and they had to send it to like another place where I got email backups of it. And eventually they said all this was erroneous. It must have been from those people that were making my same logo and my thing and it put a spotlight on my channel, which then put it into this weird place where they started like making it look like it was spam. Shout out to Crypto Mike on the $20. Crypto Mike, man. Thank you so much, man.
Today is not a day for bad mini.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, my love. And so the whole point of the story is like, I thought my dream was crushed. Almost a year straight. My channel didn't grow as fast as other people, but a year straight of me going online every day. And then they were going to tear it away from me. And I was like just about to monetize. I was just to get to 1,000 subs. I was like, another one of my business ventures that I've put so much into. And now I'm going to have to go back to work. And thank God, I literally prayed. I'll be honest to you. I don't know if you guys believe in the power of prayer, but I sat here that night and I prayed the hardest I ever prayed. And not like with tears down my eyes saying, please, dear Lord, please let this channel go, because I have so much to give and I want to do this for a living. And I got an email a few days later. We've reinstated you. I've never got a warning again. They don't touch me again. I'm gold now so far, But I really feel like when you're onto something, like that's when things try to get taken away from you, and like you have to dig deep. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you and everyone else. Like YouTube tried to take my dream away, and at one point it looked like it was going to be taken away. And I'm here right now with Crypto Love. So
yes, exactly. So it's worth it. Yeah, they did that. They did that to a lot of YouTubers too back in December. Not this past December, but the one before that.
Yeah,
and
the
that
purge.
was like crushing because because I got strikes on my channel, and I was like, there it all goes. There 1,000 some videos. There it all goes. And
yeah, you're even deeper. You're in deeper than me. It's like a girlfriend. You could break up with a girl for 3 months, but like it's like you've been dating her for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that one hurts. Like.
Yep.
Oh, so we're winding down. We got about 5 minutes left, which is sad, but we've had a good time. I've got to know about you, a little about your process, where you shared a lot about your philosophies and kind of your idea of life, and that's really cool. Just want to ask, I want to shill, if you could shill like 3 projects. You had $1,000. Your grandma has $1,000. What would you put your grandmother in? I like this question. What would you put your grandmother in? If she said, Randall, could you put this $1,000 in for me and make Granny happy?
Yeah, I would put about $65 in Bitcoin, and I would put probably.
Wow, he's bringing it down, guys. Listen, write that down. He's giving you a percentage for a reason.
Yeah, I think I would probably put another 30% or $30 in Litecoin, because right now I think that's the best play other than Bitcoin. And then the last one would just be kind of some type of speculation, and that one. Let's see. There's a lot of really good projects out there. I would probably give that to my grandmother and be like, "What do you think is the shiniest object? Which one do you like?"
Just throw a fish in a barrel. It's like,
I mean, pretty much, because there's a lot of stuff. I would put it in DeFi Pulse Index.
Yeah, probably. That's a good idea too. Yeah, DeFi's gonna go up. Just ride the DeFi wave. What do you think of Base Protocol? You seen that? I got into Base in last October, and I started staking it, the EV2 LP tokens on Cascade for multiplier rewards and all that. But it's the elastic supply. You know what I'm saying? It's moving, and then they rebase the price. And but I said, hey, we're at 400 billion when I got in and I said we're going to $1 trillion. So why wouldn't I buy this thing? And now we're at 1.7. We got in 59 cents. We're at $1.70, and we have more tokens from the rebase. So, and we're making the fees on the staking on the Uni LPs. So I just feel like I don't know. I can't find out how much I have. And it's hard to find out like what I actually have until I unstake the LP tokens. But like there's going to be more of these DeFi postings.
My strategy's always been somewhat risk averse, and that's just the way that I generally do it. And here's the reason why. Like, I see the whole crypto ecosystem growing. So that means that everybody's going to win, because all ships rise together. The only way to lose is to
get emotional and sell like a clown.
Well, to just try and grow too fast. Like, and this is something that is tough when you first get into crypto, because you get into crypto and you see how Dogecoin has already 85x.
Well, someone who got in last week, they watch Engine Coin, right? And they're like, "Oh my God, Engine Coin! Like, I want to do a 20x that just was at 40 cents and now it's $2."
Yeah, they see Chili's has already 180x.
Yeah.
So like, they see this stuff and they're like, "I missed it." And every person I've ever met who's gotten into cryptocurrency thinks they got in too late.
I knew about Chili's at 4 cents, and I watched it, and I knew I should, and I didn't get a bag, and I've been going to bed late at night with all my other investments doing great. I'm not looking at all that. I'm just being like, damn, how did I miss Chili's? Like, I do this for a living. I go over this every day. Like, how did I miss Like, I'm beating myself up about it. It's weird. You're right.
Yeah, but like, people who are getting into crypto now in 2021 think they're getting in too late. People who got in 2017 think they got too late. I've met people who got in 2014, 2013, 2012. They all think they got in too late, because we look at these gains that happened before and we're missing the giant gains that are ahead of us.
Like, this is just a little bit of, this is the bottom. This is that bottom, the rounded bottom just peeking its head out. Like, we haven't even started to really move it.
Yeah. So like, basically everybody's almost guaranteed to win. The only way you lose is by losing your money, by trying some speculative thing that you're like, "Oh, I'm brand new DeFi project. I might as well trust a smart contract. I'm going all in on this one." And then you lose all of that. That's the only way to lose.
Like, I've been dabbling in Binance Smart Chain. I'll be honest. It's like my secret little guilty pleasure. But when I do it, it's $250 in the asset, $250 in BNB. I'm putting I make $4,000 on one big trade. I take $300 and put it in HydroSwap or Hippo, whatever these freaking crazy 1,400%. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I got into one at $12. It went all the way to $2. I lost 90% of the money, but I ended up still making can you believe this? Because of the fees coming in, the impermanent loss, I still routed the impermanent loss, because I put 200 in. It went all the way to like $25, right? Because I lost like 90% of it. But then I kept it in for 2 weeks straight, and the returns were like 8,000%, and I ended up pulling out like $1,000. So
that's awesome.
And you don't lose what you also remember is when you're doing the LP tokens, you're not losing the money. You don't really lose the money on the BNB you put in, right? So you split the assets. So you're actually half averse, because you only really take the hit on the on the rupee token or whatever the crap token they want you to buy, but you're still holding some BNB. You're still holding some BUSD, whatever you placed in. You get a little less during the flow, but I did make a video about impermanent loss, and I explained it, and I put it on my channel so people understand. And I said, listen, because they see me doing all these things, and they watch one of my videos and think that's what I'm doing with $10,000, right? And then I don't want people to think. I want to let them know, like, if you dabble in this DeFi $10,000 BS Smart Chain, we should call it BS Smart, but BS, that was a Freudian slip in a way, but the Binance Smart Chain. But if you want to play games and you want to dabble, like, make sure you're not betting the house. You're betting the doghouse. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Yeah. All right. So you asked me a whole bunch of questions. Now it's time for me to ask you a question.
Okay.
If you had to give one piece of advice to new investors out there, somebody who just got into cryptocurrency, somebody who, they saw Engine pump, they saw Chili's pump, now they're in, and you have to give them advice to help them grow. What's that advice?
My main advice, like I said, going back to that car engine, like, make sure you understand crypto, because the amount of time you run after these, fine. So you saw Engine Coin pump, and that makes you want to run and just be like, what's like, I get annoyed on my channel when someone says, Lifer, I need the next coin. I need a pop tonight. I need something to pop. It's the most, like, I'm telling you, all you guys in my Telegram.
Sounds like a heroin addict. I need it tonight.
I put it up the other day. The guy said, he actually called me like, I need it now. I'm like, I get annoyed because I'm like, that's not the mentality I'm creating with my channel. And that's what my following's all about. It's about, I tutor someone, they start helping another person. And so my idea is this, if you got the bug, if you know you're in, because once you know you're in, you can't, you're sleeping, it's all night. You got to understand the space. All right. And I'll give you a little tip, NFT, make a circle, divide it into 6 pieces, or make a square, divide it into 4 pieces, NFT in the left corner, payment coins, XRP, bank, things that move, derivatives, synthetics, stuff like that, things that can get into the banking sector. I have a lot of synthetics. I believe in it. It's been flat. It went from, I got into $8-10. It's 19, 20, went to 27. No one's looking at that coin. It's dead. It's dead to a lot of people. I think it's one of the greatest investments we're going to see in 2021, but that's my opinion. So like, I'm not focused on what everyone else is running after. I'm focused on my research. And another thing is too, look at Engine Coin. It was doing its thing, but it, like he said, it's a 2 to 3 day pump and then it's gone. And I'm not saying it's losing all its gains, but then like the next one and the next one and the next one, your coin will be that Engine Coin one day. It's going to have its dog day afternoon. It's going to have its 3 days of sun. And because and then you're going to be the guy who gets to say, I was at 300x today. You know how many times I got to be that guy, but I was holding the coin for 7 weeks before it did it. I was researching it for 8 weeks, 2 months before I even bought the coin. Do your research. Like, don't let your antsiness force you into a position that you do not need to be getting into. Listen to people that aren't pump moon boys. Listen to Crypto Love. Listen to me. If you don't take guidance from me, take guidance from someone that speaks to you, like someone that says some honorable things, someone that connects with you in a way you're like, oh, this guy's just not shilling crap constantly. Someone that's willing to say he made a bad trade, someone that's willing to admit their humanness, right? Not someone who's hiding all of this aspect and just showing you little pieces every day, pump this and how great that is. Like, that's not real. And don't associate yourself with people like that. So my idea is, I guess it's long-winded, but do your research, fully do your research. And what I mean by that, go to CoinGecko, research who the project is. I say a lot of people, I don't buy coins, I buy people. Why did I buy SHR? Because Tim Boss. I researched the guy and I saw that he started Keys in Australia. I saw that he is a successful CEO. I seen that he's actually been managed other companies and knows how to take small amounts of wealth and build. He has a great reputation. He's also, he works harder than almost anyone I could know. Tim Boss is a boss. I mean, I'm buying SHR because I believe in Tim Boss. You see what I'm saying? Like, I like to buy the person behind the coin. Like I used to get in, I'm not a huge fan of EOS anymore, but I like Dan Larimer. The guy used to make like weapon systems for the government. I mean, like, if you don't think he's not going to get into a project, like he's not going to get in some project and moon it to the ground, take it to the ground. Like, so I research who's creating these projects. Look at my VeChain video. I tell you, the guy used to have a connection with Louis Vuitton. I like Bondly. I interviewed the CEO from Bondly. The guy used to work for PNC, I believe PNC Bank, General Electric. Like, he's managed money. He has an accounting background. He's not a fool. There's a reason why Bondly will do very well, because it's managed properly, as well as having, so you got to find out who's making these projects, what's behind them. Once I do like a 3 to 4 week checklist. I look at it, I keep reading. Once I'm decided that it's the one for me, like I have a little list in my head, I do the check. I don't look back. I don't care if it's below support one day. I don't care if people would say it's over, it's going down. That doesn't matter to me, because I did my due diligence before I got into the trade. And I see a lot of people, should I sell now? Worry. And I'm like, well, you obviously did not plan this properly, because now you're in an emotional situation because you have no conviction. That's not my fault. You need to do the research before you get into something and understand why you're getting into it in the first place. So, yeah.
Yeah. Great advice. Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of people, they're like, should I sell this altcoin for this altcoin? Should I sell this altcoin
I hate that question.
for this altcoin? And they're like, yeah, because they're selling one at a loss to buy another one at a high, and they just keep rinse and repeating until there's nothing left. So it's kind of like what you were saying there with being patient and researching it. Warren Buffett, despite what he thinks about cryptocurrency, he used to say that if a trader was only allowed to make 5 trades in their lifetime, they would be a much better trader, because they'd have to do a lot more research, because once you do those 5 trades, you're done. And like, if you think about it that way, like if you can only do 5 trades this bull run, you're not going to be thinking, should I trade this one for this one? Should I trade this one for this one? No, you're going to be figuring which ones are going to maximize my growth potential for this bull run.
Also, people say, well, like we said before, buy and sell in everything. And I said, yeah, even me. I'm really, I'm pretty good at TA. And, I have probably the highest probability of most traders to at least sell somewhat close to the top, because it's what I do 14 hours a day. It's, you would only believe after all that information, my subconscious mind would help me a little bit. Now, but the idea is, it's also, can you go to bed that night though? Like if you sell theta at 8, are you worrying it's going to 8:30 and you're going to be down when you get up? Oh, because you can't get back, So like, as great as it is to sell and buy the top, like I also like to like read my daughter a bedtime story, and I like to wake up and work out, and I like to meditate, so it's like there is also mental health as this bull run can take your financials up, but like, are you sleeping? Like, are you so freaked out? Are you in and out of everything to the point where you can't breathe? There has to be a level of profit taking and planning and holding and accumulating, and there has to be a balance, in my opinion. You can get really good at TA, but like you said, like you cannot. It hurts for me because now that I'm doing more tutoring and I'm doing more charting, I'm seeing more. So now I see it all. So now I beat myself up about when I don't take advantage of it, because I'm like really in it, and I'm seeing, like I knew Engine, I knew CH, like all this stuff was at my radar months ago. Like months ago, I knew what coins were probably gonna, we're gonna go up. So, and now there's a new space, and I'm using that again. And that's like Terra Virtua, and these NFTs are coming up into the game. But yeah, man, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time. You said you like to help grow channels, and I was watching your channel. I was like, maybe he'd hook me up. So like, I sent you an email and you answered, and it just, this is a dream to me, man. I'm telling you right now, this is a dream to me. Like I'm living my dream right now. Like this is what I would love to do. Interview people, make connections with people in the space that are doing what I want to do with my life, And yeah, for all you guys out there working hard, like put your, you worked hard for that money. Don't just jump in on a Moon Boy YouTuber. Do your research, man. He didn't get here jumping in on stuff like that. Crypto Love got here with his, with his subscribers and his movement. He got here doing the research, and he taught me. And now I do the research, and I want to pay it forward. And that's the type of channels and the type of mentality we want to have in crypto, because it's only going to help the whole human race become more successful, right? So you did your thing, man, and you inspired me to be here. And yeah, I'm so grateful for everything that you've done and all the videos you've made. Really, I get a little emotional because I know how hard it is now that I'm doing it. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you, And honestly, I've made a lot of money on Cardano, and like, thank you. Like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I joined your Patreon, because just so everyone knows, I joined Patreons too. Like, I have my own Patreon, but I joined his Patreon. I like to give back. I like to spread that energy to where I think it should go, So, yeah. Any last words, man, before we sign off?
It's been an absolute pleasure, and I like what you said there with the last thing where you like to give back. I mean, I think that's really important. And one thing that I've noticed in my life is the more that I can give to other people, the more comes back. And like, every once in a while I forget that. It's like the idea of giving money to charities or to homeless people or anything like that. Like, they can say with money, you can either have an open hand or a closed fist. And like with an open hand, you give to somebody else, but more can come into you. But if you have a closed fist trying to hold on to everything you have, nothing more can go in there. So like every time in life, I always notice the more that I can give, the more I get back. And so like, I mean, man, I never thought I'd be a YouTuber. I was just doing this because I thought it'd be fun. And like seeing that I can, really make a difference for you and for other people out there, that blows my mind. And that's what life's about.
And just the last few comments, one guy said, why don't you kiss him?
What makes you think we didn't do that already before the
Oh, man. XLM Curve Sweaty Boy. Great interview. Appreciate the help. Means a lot coming from experts that things I do are on the right track. I'll stay this way, helping people. Great interview. Boom shakalaka, someone wrote. If you
shakalaka.
believe now and understand trends and waves, you hold what is gold. And then someone, Harmony on the way up. I guess OneCoin is doing its thing. But all right, everyone, we're gonna call it a day, man. The man gave me his time, and I appreciate it. Crypto Love, Randall, you are the man, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I hope we get to collaborate more. I hope we could do more. And yeah, man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
It's been a pleasure. You're welcome.